The moral confusion of the left. The moral confusion of the left is one of great interest to me. The first person who taught me this is the legendary Dennis Prager. He noticed it, let me put it that way. Something that Dennis Prager would mention time and time again is how the Democrat Party would emphasize a tyrannical approach to things that do not matter and would ignore things that obviously do matter. The Democrat Party will fight like none other to make sure that boys can go in female locker rooms. The Democrat Party will go into the courtroom. In fact, they will fly to foreign countries to fight for foreign gang members. But for American citizens or for girls in locker rooms that want privacy, they're viewed as kind of an annoyance. Like, why are you so outspoken? What's the matter with you? Why do you, what do you want, rights? You want attention? This was on full display yesterday where you had the tale of two political parties. One political party decided to go fly to El Salvador and get on their metaphorical hands and knees and beg for an illegal alien to be returned to the United States of America. He's not a U.S. citizen. In fact, I recently sat down with a prominent liberal who said, well, you know, this was a U.S. citizen. No, he was not. This is not a U.S. citizen. This is not a permanent green card holder. This was an illegal alien who is awaiting deportation. An illegal. Also a wife abuser, just so we are clear. Mr. Garcia. So on one side, you have the Democrat Party that is acting as if this was just a random person scooped up off the side of the street and teleported down to El Salvador. But that is what gets the Democrat Party so fired up. They will refuse to protect female sports. The moral confusion left is one that we've all called anarcho-tyranny. They want anarchy in the streets, but tyranny against political parties that they do not like. The Democrat Party is now the party of 80-20 issues, which is why their approval rating is 21%, because they are on the 20% of all the issues. Men and girls sports, illegals over Americans. They are for deficit spending. They're for an open border. They're firebombing Teslas. The Democrat Party right now, as fairly as I can make it, is to get MS-13 gang members out of prison and get biological boys into girls' locker rooms. And yesterday, it broke the internet, where the mother of Rachel Morin, showed up to the press briefing room. The mother of Rachel Morin. It was chills. It was a surprise press conference, and it was a phenomenal contrast to the foreign appeasing, terrorist sympathizing Democrat Party. It was an amazing spectacle what the White House put on display. Here is one clip. Harrison Fields reports on what a USA Today reporter came up and told him. Now, there was a lot of controversy around it. I want to get to that actually secondly. Let's begin with cut 270.
Please tell the truth. Exactly. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell how violent it really is. This is about protecting our children. It's more than just politics or votes or just anything. It's about national security, protecting Americans, protecting our children. Thank you. And thank you for listening.
Now, that was her off the podium. Very raw and emotional stuff. I think her name is Patty Morin, if I'm not mistaken. Patty. I actually got a chance to meet her at America Fest. Very decent, a wonderful woman. We flew her out to America Fest to speak to our students about her daughter, who was murdered by an illegal alien, a mother of 5, who never should have been in the interior of the United States. Never should have been in the interior of the United States. And they brought her right up to the press briefing room, the Trump White House team. And she told the story. And of course, they are trying their best to ignore it. They would rather fly to El Salvador and get into the weeds to fight for yet another gangbanger. And breaking news yesterday, guess what? That Maryland father, Mr. Garcia, that Maryland father, turns out more and more evidence shows that he was part of MS-13. Let's play cut 263.
The Democrats and the media in this room have continually and wrongly labeled Kilmar Abrego Garcia as a Maryland father. There is no Maryland father. Let me reiterate. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member and foreign terrorist who was deported back to his home country.
Back to his home country. Raised in El Salvador, from El Salvador, and is a gang member. The moral confusion of the Democrat Party might be one of the great threats to the American homeland. I mean that. When you have a political party that will go make a spectacle, a political opportunity out of a foreign gang member. Look, in the end, the immigration battle was always going to have a case like this. The Democrats need symbols. They need names. They need George Floyd. They need Michael Brown. They were going to grab some deported person and cling on to them. I just thought they were going to wait and hold their fire for someone that wasn't a gang member. We need to have rock solid consistency. People who came here illegally need to go back, period. Just so happens they've decided to go all in for a wife-beating MS-13 gang-affiliated kind of scum-of-the-earth guy, not a Maryland father. And Americans agree. When polled, Americans agree. Here is Dartmouth's own Harry Enton, play cut 280.
Deport all undocumented immigrants. Voters favoring the government trying to deport all 11 million of them. Back in 2016, just 38% of voters wanted the government to try to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. Compared to where we are in 2025, 56%, the majority. The American people have come a long way on this issue, much closer to Donald Trump, and I think that's a big part of the reason why Americans are increasingly saying the country is on the right track when it comes to immigration policy, and why Donald Trump's net approval rating on that issue is in the positive.
56% of Americans support what President Trump is doing with immigration. We need to deport more people. The numbers are looking good, but we got to get them up even more. Doesn't matter what these judges say, we're going to fight through all of it. We're going to fight for the American people, what they voted for, not foreign MS-13 gang members.